What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a quick Destiny 2 news video. We should be getting an early twid today with Thanksgiving being this week, but Bungie actually have an additional update for us today as well, and this one's related to Fireteam Finder that's starting to launch in Season 23. And you'll notice my language right there because Bungie are going to be introducing it as a sort of beta version, and the community will be able to help out with a couple of different stress tests for the Fireteam Finder, but also different functions will be launching at different times throughout Season 23. So, of course, initially we'd sort of expected a full release, I suppose, based on what Bungie had announced, but there are some caveats to that which we'll break down in the video right here. So, as always, I hope you find it useful, but now let's get into it. And so Bungie essentially say we've made a ton of progress on Fireteam Finder, including on many of the unexpected technical challenges, and have come to a fork in the road with a difficult choice to make, which is either to push the release of Fireteam Finder even later, or have a much more public version of the Bungie beta, which they do talk about in the update as one of their sort of internal testing methods for content and updates like this. But they say we've decided it's better to bring you along for the ride rather than make you wait. And so immediately it's obvious that we're going to be getting this in different phases. And they say for the Fireteam Finder's beta goals, they want to prove that Fireteam Finder scales to millions of players, but also to protect the start of Season of the Wish, also to protect the dungeon launch, which of course will drop on the 1st of December, but also to be nimble, such as reserving the ability to accelerate or halt the beta test based on new information, and to deliver a first-class Fireteam Finder for all activities by the final shape. And so they say right here in terms of the beta plan, firstly, there's a raid stress test, and on November 30th from 9 AM PST to 5 PM PST, they say that all of the raids we have access to are on the menu, and they say they hope to keep the stress test open until 5 PM, but this is where we haven't had a Bungie beta in the live game disclaimers come into play, and there are countless scenarios where we may have to end the test early, so they say we're asking for patience and hope you can take it as an opportunity to give us early feedback as we work out the system's gremlins. And then they say the official beta period will begin in December pending the stress test results, with a full release for Fireteam Finder targeted for late January. And so they've said we're going to be monitoring the results of the initial raid stress test closely and considering opening more activities as we progress with the end goal of having Fireteam Finder as an option for every activity in the game. But they also say they'll keep that schedule above updated as they learn more, and they'll give us updates on that in the Thursday twid updates. So obviously we hadn't really heard about Fireteam Finder since back at the final shape reveal, and it's pretty clear from what Bungie is saying that the production of that is behind where they want it to be. So in a way it's unfortunate that they hadn't given us an update prior to this, but it'll definitely be interesting for us to watch as a community and see how all of that functions, see whether it's smooth, or whether indeed it's going to be plagued with issues. And Bungie have sort of indicated that it's entirely possible we will run into some stuff, but as Bungie said, I suppose, given that this doesn't appear to be fully ready yet, I think it probably is better that they launch it in this sort of beta version. And obviously delaying it entirely certainly wouldn't have gone down in the community very well. But give us your thoughts about that down below. Here though, they do say in terms of getting into Fireteam Finder, there are two ways to access it. One is from the director using the roster tab, and the other is using the Fireteam Finder access point found on every activity's launch screen. And in both cases, players will be able to search for a fireteam or create a listing using a series of listing options to specify the group that they're trying to build. But in terms of what we'll see in the stress test versus the beta versus the official launch, they say we're already prepping content for a few updates to Fireteam Finder, and you'll see more things come online when the beta drops, but even more as they march towards the full release. And they talk about the two images right here. They say on the first one, we can see it's the stress test version, and then on the second, this is the target for the full release. And so obviously we're looking at Kingsfall listings right here, and as we've seen previously, there'll be specific tags like chatting using Discord, but also stuff like stasis only for players trying to complete challenges, tags for a full clear, others that request experienced players, and all of the stuff that you typically would expect to see from an LFG option. So certainly some good options there, but they finished by saying, in terms of existing group finding systems, and those that currently exist on the website and companion app, and they say both of those will remain until the new Fireteam Finder, both in-game and out of game, are ready to launch. And they say the Bungie.net team has been hard at work developing a new out-of-game Fireteam Finder that's fully integrated with the in-game system, but they point out it won't be available during this early beta period. And finally they say pardon our dust as we get this feature up and running, and thank you in advance for all of the help. And they say we're excited to give you and fellow Guardians the tools to tackle everything in Destiny 2 together. And so the positives at least is that Fireteam Finder will be launching in one form or another early in Season of the Wish. Obviously it'll start out with that November 30th raid stress test, and then a fuller version launching with the beta period at some point during December, and hopefully a full release in late January. And so if you think you're going to be using Fireteam Finder a lot, definitely give us your thoughts down below. Positive to at least have some updates on it. And for the moment, and this first update of the day, that's what we have to round up. So let us know what you think in the comment section. If you've enjoyed the video, a rating below really does help us out on the channel, and also be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more Destiny content. But otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome day.